well be a blood sub just for a while, as Diarmuid Ling takes this, drops it in there dangerously. He's in the back of the net! Wexford, with Harry Keogh, centre of the picture, celebrating with his colleagues. And it's 1:15 to 1:12. There's still over 15 minutes to go. A combination of players getting that one. Chasing for this one. It might break here for Damien Hayes. Hayes still in there to challenge, being held off, and held off well by David Redmond, having to go around the tourist trail to try and get possession in for a colleague. Here's an opportunity. The substitute kicked into the back of the net. What an impact by Kevin Hines. He's only on the park a couple of moments, and Kevin Hines has got his first ever championship goal and made it 2:16 to 1:12.
Well, Damien Hayes is always great credit for this. He worked very, very hard and slipped a great ball through to Kevin Hines, and instant impact for Galway.
David Collins across here to the very lively Damien Hayes. Lively, that is, in the second half. He certainly upped his performance enormously. Got a slap there, and the referee is going to have a word with the player who did that, and it's David Redmond, and David Redmond's already been yellow carded, and if the referee gives him a second, as looks very likely, then the game will be evened out at 14 players each. 64 minutes gone. David Redmond gets to walk.
Well, I think that apart from the sending off where they wanted Andy Smith for the next game, they'll be pleased enough to get out of this. They're running away nicely with the game now, but I mean, they'll be pleased that to win it. They won't be happy with it to be played, but there's a lot more to be played for.
Diarmuid Ling that time with the unfair challenge, and he's going to get a yellow card as well. Shouldn't be anything more serious than that. Oh, it is. He's given him a red card. Diarmuid Ling.
Well, I didn't see that as being a red card really, Ger. I think he might have gone in, he just went in to win the ball, maybe possibly yellow, a bit harsh maybe, but that's how things go.
As Cyril Farrell puts it over the bar, he's got his 13th point of the match, and it's a very, very comfortable victory now for Galway, and they have won this handsomely. Final whistle. Galway did all that was required of them, and the major disappointment, I suppose, will be losing Andy Smith to a red card. It finishes at Nolan Park. Galway 2 goals and 22 points. Wexford 1 goal and 14.
To be honest, it's heartbreaking really. You start training in October for that, and to be sent off in the last minute of the game there is it means missing the next match at least, and I don't know, hopefully maybe on appeal something could happen, because it's heartbreaking really after the effort goes in, but that said, it's my mistake. I mistimed my tackle, I suppose, and you have to roll with those things as well.
When you come down here, it was going to be physical. We came down here 3 years ago in the league and they gave us a good bit, it's about 8 points. So when you come down here, it wasn't good and easy, and it was a really physical game out there.
Damien Fitzhenry, was that Wexford's optimum performance? Did you think they were capable of being closer than that at the end?
I thought they were capable of being a good bit closer than that, than 11 points really. Just things didn't go their way, I suppose. Just before half time we conceded a goal. We should really have went in only 2 points down, ended up going in actually 6 down. And then when Rory got through, we thought it was a goal, but fantastic save by Callan in the goal. And I think that those 2 points were really the turning points for Wexford last night. And I suppose the other side of it, and we were just talking about it earlier, was the amount of frees that were conceded in the game. And I think there was 125 scored from frees in the game, so it was a stop-start sort of a game as well.
What about Galway, Cyril? It's the opposite to the league. Cork written off after the league final, now hyped up today, and Galway the opposite.
I think it's brilliant for Galway, actually. It gives them plenty of food for thought. They went in there last night after having a great league final, everyone talking about them. And they went out last night saying, and it didn't play to that performance, but they still did enough to win, and they still won by 10 or 11 points in the end. Wexford they're a proud hurling county. They're always going to rise to them. They just lacked the real skill up front, especially. Galway well on top of the back. and like they got a few breaks well. But I think Galway will go on from this, like, and they'll be stronger and stronger, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And even though Cork said today looked very good, different type of a game. There's about 8,000 there last night, but 40,000 today in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Like these teams are serious enough. Wexford will regroup, but like the one thing that I found disappointing last night, not the sending off the red cards, they had to be done probably the way the rules gone out. There was yellow cards given out like confetti last night. It was all freeze. There was no flow in the game at all, and it's just kind of, you're looking for kind of, say, consistency, and like the refs seem to be kind of, one ref will blow everything, another ref lets it flow. So like, I don't know what's going to happen. Later on the championship will probably be allowed to flow, and I hope it is. All
right, then one in comparing the two games or contrasting them as Cyril did there, Paul, in the wides today, Tipperary had 5, Cork had 7, Galway had 17 last night.
17 days, yeah, and 10 in the first half. And you can say a lot of the wides were kind of bad wides. They were, they weren't being put under pressure. They kind of took crazy shots at the goal, some of them from the sidelines.
We can have a look at some of it there.
Yeah, and like, I mean, Galway will have to, cut this out if they're going to, go on any further, especially in the Leinster final or All-Ireland semi-final. And surprisingly, in the first couple of minutes, they just persisted in hitting high ball after high ball in on top of Joe Canning. And Keith Rossiter, just blocked them out. And in fairness to Wexford, they'd a couple of backs around it at all times. And they ended up taking Joe out of full forward. But here's the kind of wides we're talking about. Going down the wing, Aidan Hart didn't even know where the goal was. A shot to nothing. Instead of keeping it in play across. Again, Cyril Farrell, who was fantastic on the night. But he had plenty of options outside him to flick it out. Instead of throwing it back over his shoulder and hitting a hopeful shot. David Burke had several wides. Gets a second chance here again. Too much time even. And puts it wide. Now, their shooting was fantastic in the league final, but yesterday, it was just off.
I was going to say, could it be argued, though, they were being instructed, look, if you get through, have a shot?
Yeah, and the contrast then is when Ger Farrer picks out a man, gives a great ball to Joe Canning, simple over the bar. And Galway need to do more of this. They need to get their best players involved on the ball. Damien Hayes, Joe Canning, guys like this. Donald Barry picks out a pass, there's the first touch for you, takes you 3 or 4 steps and over the bar. But that's what Galway are going to have to do more. Kind of, get their best players on the ball, cut down the mistakes and, sharpen up their shooting.
The red card issue, Cyril made a reference, that they were perhaps legitimate last night, but you thought there was an incident in today's match that contrasted with last night, Damien.
Yeah, well, just from looking at it, I suppose there was 2 red card incidents last night, and I don't think anybody can be really too perturbed by what happened. Look, ball comes through, Andy goes in, takes Colin Farrell out of it.
Nearly took Colin Bonner out of it too.
Yeah, nearly took Colin out behind as well. But that's no disputing that. It's straight red card. Next one comes in. Gizzy hits the ball in, comes in, follows it through. Same again. Dangerous man bending down. You know what I mean?
Is it a red?
It's questionable, but I would say probably yes, it is a red. If it's going by the letter of the law. But then again, what happened today? Then we come into the match. We see Shane O'Neill coming out, and we see Brian O'Mara coming to tackle him. He lays off the ball here. Comes out to him, drops the ball. Next minute with Brian coming through, elbow, same thing, and it only warranted a yellow card today. We've been talking, I suppose, and lads are probably fed up talking about the hand passing football and consistency from the referees. But I think that's all people are looking for, really. They're looking for consistency, and I think that if 2 red cards last night, that tackle today obviously warranted a red one then as well.
Galway in Leinster, and they've eased through effectively. They've Offaly now, which you said won't be easy, but it sets them up possibly for a Leinster final if they can beat Offaly. Is that a good and a better lifestyle for Galway hurling now to be in Leinster?
Oh, I think it's great because you're playing at the level. Last night Galway played the first round. Now I remember my time in Galway, we wouldn't be playing till the last week of July or early August, and you'd be playing the winners of Leinster and Munster. And even if they lost last night, they'd be back in the round robin to get a second chance. Whereas before, if you were beaten Des, you were gone for the year. I think Galway, they will beat Offaly, but Offaly are nice hurlers. Offaly will be hurt by today. They'll be delighted to get out of jail and they'll improve a lot. But Galway will be in the Leinster final. It's kind of set up for them in the Leinster final, and I think they'll go from strength to strength.
All right, it'll be interesting to watch that. Time now, though, to announce the winner of our Ulster Bank competition. It's a magnificent prize, a VIP weekend in Dublin to attend this year's All-Ireland football final on September the 19th. Now, the prize for 2 includes premium level match tickets, a 2-night stay in a Dublin city centre hotel, and €2,000 spending money. And the prize goes to Connacht, to Mayo, and to Kilshemock. Our winner is Joseph Conlon from Kilshemock in Mayo. So well done, Joseph. And I wonder, will you have cause to bring your Mayo shirt with you for the final? But definitely bring some shirt with you anyway, whatever you do. Well done. My thanks then to Cyril, to Paul and to Damien for joining us tonight. Good to have you with us, Damien. After the break, Tony and Anthony are here to reflect on the day's football action, including the big match from Ulster as Down travelled to Donegal.